Now, the world's top energy exporters in the Middle East are already facing a political crisis, but oil prices are staying stubbornly low, putting even more pressure on their economies. Now, this is how Brent crude oil prices have done over the last day. That sharp drop that you see there took it below a psychologically important level of $45 a barrel. It's rebounded a little bit since then, but since the start of the year, oil prices are down more than 20%. That takes it into what traders call a bear market. In other words, they see prices falling even further. And they've fallen despite data from the US showing a drop in stockpiles. The glut in the world's biggest oil consumer fell last week by 2.5 million barrels. That was more than analysts had expected. Now, a deal in May by the producers' cartel, OPEC, to extend oil production cuts does not seem to be helping to support prices. Member countries, Nigeria and Libya, are exempt from those cuts and have been pumping more oil. But it's US shale producers who are having the biggest impact. Despite prices falling, their production levels continue to rise. So, joining me now from Jacksonville, Florida, is Ellen Wald. She's an energy and geopolitics expert and author of the upcoming book, Saudi Inc. Welcome back to Money Talks. So,
Thank you.
Ellen, are OPEC's days numbered?
I don't think OPEC days are numbered, but I think that we have to think about OPEC in a different way now. It used to be that OPEC would make a decision and prices would react. And now that we have so much speculation and so many different financial institutions that are making bets on the oil market and impacting it really on an hour-to-hour or minute-to-minute basis, we have to look at OPEC in a different way and more as kind of a long-term trend-setting organization. So Khalid Al-Faleh, who's the oil minister for Saudi Arabia, even says he doesn't look at prices anymore. He doesn't look at kind of the day-to-day gyrations. He's really looking in more of a 6 or 9 month venue.
Indeed, and Saudi Arabia, of course, abandoned their strategy to try and gain market share. But what factors, I mean, we outlined some of the factors that may be keeping oil prices low, but how do you see it? Why are prices so low?
I think that this is very psychological, and you mentioned the bear market. I think that that's really coming to play here in a large aspect, that certain funds and traders make decisions, and then other people see the effect of that, and then they kind of dump their positions as well. So that kind of creates this cascade effect, and when we see these kind of large drops like we've been seeing over the past, more than a month, you've kind of seen every couple of weeks we get this kind of large drop down. I do think that at some point that psychology will kind of reverse itself and we will begin to see prices climb. At the same time, there's still a large glut. OPEC isn't really having a huge effect on the market in terms of its particular price cuts, but there are signs that, in this longer-term scheme, that the glut may be resolving. Demand in China is expected to grow. Like you mentioned about U.S. oil stocks are slowly winding down. So I think that we will begin to see those signs and that this kind of free fall will reverse itself.
Yeah, we did see those stockpiles coming down in the US. However, we are in the middle of the summer and the driving season is on. So is this a seasonal factor, do you think? And once we get past this, do you see those stockpiles coming back up?
Well, the key thing to look at right now is gasoline stocks. So one of the reasons that the crude oil stocks are down is because refineries have been doing record runs. I mean, incredible numbers, some of the highest ever. But that's leading to increased gasoline stocks. So if we do begin to see those gasoline stocks draw down, then we'll really begin to see a big change. In fact, there's some indication that the U.S. may be exporting gasoline to Mexico because their major refinery has an outage. And so I think that over the summer, we will see gasoline stocks begin to draw down, particularly if oil prices remain low. And that will encourage people to drive more.
So you mentioned some of the technical, psychological reasons why we are where we are. But going forwards, what are the fundamental things that need to happen in order for this market to turn around?
The fundamental things that need to happen are that the overall stocks of oil in the world, not just in the United States, need to start to draw down. So that includes floating storage around the world, oil that's stored in a variety of different locations around the world, not just in Cushing, which is in the big storage place in the United States. We need to see those numbers start to come down in order to see oil prices gradually start to rise. I don't think we're ever really in the near future getting back to, say, $80 oil. So.
Great. Ellen Wald from Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you ever so much for being on Money Talks.